Why is it that some of the clearest signals we receive from people are the ones we're most desperate to ignore? You've been there, haven't you? Convinced that maybe, just maybe, you're reading the situation wrong, that her distant responses don't really mean what they seem to mean, that there's still hope buried somewhere beneath her polite but cold interactions. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When someone isn't interested, they usually tell you in ways that don't require words. The problem isn't that the signs aren't there. The problem is that acknowledging them feels like accepting defeat, and accepting defeat feels like admitting you weren't good enough. So instead, you hold on to hope. You analyze every text message. You replay conversations looking for hidden meanings. You convince yourself that her lack of enthusiasm is just shyness, or that she's playing hard to get, or that she's simply busy with other things in her life. Think about it. When you're genuinely interested in someone, don't you make time? Don't you respond with energy? Don't you ask questions, show curiosity, create opportunities to connect? Of course you do, because when we care about someone, we can't help but show it through our actions. The same principle applies in reverse. When someone consistently shows you they're not invested, they're not playing games, they're not testing you, they're simply not interested, and they're hoping you'll pick up on the subtle cues so they don't have to hurt your feelings with direct rejection. Today, we're going to look at 6 clear indicators that someone isn't romantically interested in you. Not so you can torture yourself with overanalysis, but so you can recognize these patterns, accept reality, and redirect your energy toward people who actually want to be in your life. The first clue is the conversation killer response pattern. You send a thoughtful message, maybe sharing something interesting that happened to you or asking about her day. Her response? One word. Cool. Nice. Okay. No follow-up questions, no attempt to keep the dialogue flowing, no reciprocal sharing. When someone is interested, conversations feel like tennis matches. You serve, they return with energy, adding their own spin to keep the ball in play. But when someone isn't interested, every interaction feels like you're hitting a ball against a wall. It comes back, but with no life, no momentum, no invitation to continue. Pay attention to this pattern. If most of your conversations die after her responses, if you're always the one asking questions and she rarely asks any back, if her replies feel like polite obligations rather than genuine engagement, she's telling you something important. The second clue is the phantom availability syndrome. She's always busy, not busy with specific things that suggest a full, interesting life, but vaguely, mysteriously busy. When you suggest meeting up, she says she can't because of work, family obligations, or prior commitments. But here's what's telling. She never offers alternatives. Think about how you respond when someone you like asks you out, but you genuinely can't make it. You don't just say no, you say, I can't do Saturday, but what about Sunday afternoon? Or, this week is crazy, but I'm free next Friday if you want to do something then. When someone is interested but legitimately unavailable, they provide context and alternatives because they want to make it work. When someone consistently claims to be busy without ever suggesting other options, they're hoping you'll take the hint and stop asking. The third clue is the energy mismatch in your interactions. This one requires honest self-reflection. Look at the enthusiasm levels in your conversations. Are you bringing most of the energy? Are you the one initiating most of the contact? Are you putting in significantly more effort to maintain the connection than she is? When someone is genuinely interested, there's a natural balance of energy. They initiate conversations sometimes. They show curiosity about your life. They remember details from previous conversations and bring them up later. They contribute ideas for things to do together. If you find yourself constantly being the pursuer, the initiator, the one working to keep things alive, you're not in a mutual interaction. You're in a one-sided situation where your interest is being politely tolerated rather than reciprocated. The fourth clue is the deflection of personal depth. Interested people want to know you. They ask about your thoughts, your experiences, your feelings. They share their own stories and vulnerabilities. They create intimacy through mutual disclosure and genuine curiosity about who you are beneath the surface. But when someone isn't interested, they keep interactions surface level. They might be perfectly pleasant, but they don't dig deeper. They don't ask follow-up questions about your dreams, your challenges, your passions. They don't share personal stories that would create emotional connection. If your conversations consistently stay in safe, shallow territory, despite your attempts to go deeper, if she seems uncomfortable when things get too personal, if she changes the subject when you try to create meaningful connection, she's maintaining emotional distance for a reason. The fifth clue is the social media contradiction. This one stings because it's so visible. She's active on social media, responding to other people's posts, sharing stories, engaging with friends. But your messages sit unread for hours or days. Your comments on her posts go unacknowledged while she responds to others. When someone is interested, you become part of their social world. They don't ignore your digital presence while actively engaging with everyone else's. If there's a clear pattern of social media neglect specifically towards you while she's obviously online and engaging with others, she's sending a message about your priority level in her life. The sixth and final clue is the future avoidance pattern. Interested people naturally include you in their future thinking. They mention events coming up and wonder if you'd like to join. They make plans that extend beyond the immediate moment. They talk about things they want to do or see with you. But when someone isn't interested, they avoid any discussion of future plans together. They don't invite you to upcoming events. They don't make commitments beyond the immediate interaction. They keep everything in the present tense because they're not envisioning a future with you in it. Now here's what I want you to understand about recognizing these patterns. This isn't about becoming cynical or giving up on connection. It's about developing the emotional intelligence to distinguish between genuine interest and polite tolerance. When you can accurately read these signals, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of hoping, pursuing, and being disappointed. You stop wasting energy on people who aren't invested in you. You become available for connections with people who actually want to be in your life. And here's something crucial. Recognizing disinterest isn't a reflection of your worth. Someone not being romantically interested in you doesn't mean you're not attractive, interesting, or worthy of love. It simply means you're not the right match for each other, and that's perfectly normal. The healthiest response to these signals is acceptance and redirection. When you notice these patterns, gracefully step back. Stop initiating contact. Stop trying to force chemistry that isn't there. Use that energy to focus on yourself, your own growth, and people who demonstrate genuine enthusiasm for your presence. Remember, the right person won't leave you guessing about their interest. They won't make you work to decode their feelings or analyze their behavior for hidden meanings. When someone wants to be with you, they make it clear through consistent actions, enthusiastic responses, and genuine investment in building a connection. Your job isn't to convince someone to like you. Your job is to be authentically yourself and recognize when that authenticity is genuinely appreciated versus when it's being politely tolerated. The people who are meant to be in your life will show up with the same energy you bring. They'll match your enthusiasm. They'll create space for you in their world without you having to push for it. Stop settling for breadcrumbs of attention from people who aren't excited about you. Start recognizing your own worth and holding out for connections that feel mutual, effortless, and genuinely enthusiastic. You deserve someone who doesn't make you wonder where you stand, someone whose interest is so clear that reading between the lines becomes unnecessary, someone who chooses you as actively as you choose them. That person exists, but you'll never find them if you're stuck chasing someone who's already shown you they're not interested through these unmistakable clues. Pay attention, accept reality, and redirect your energy toward the connections that actually have the potential to flourish.